Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for the week of November 17th. This week you have this celebrity card. Look at this. It says self-expression, validation, and influence. You have this freedom card. It says released, unburdened, and new beginnings. I like that. Maybe you're becoming famous here, Scorpio. Maybe not, but we'll see what comes up. And these two cards and this first row is going to represent your current general energies. It's an amazing time to get attention. I say this to everyone. I mean, Pluto and Aquarius, if there was ever a time to get as much attention as you possibly could, it would be right now. As I always say, we're going to see plenty of people, getting attention for the wrong reasons. So we want to make sure that we're getting attention for the right reasons, right? We want to be positive, we want to stand out for good things, not bad things. You all get it, but, that's what I would make sure of with this energy. I also feel with your first card, Eight of Swords, you could be setting yourself free and or gaining more freedom. And look at the end of this. This looks amazing for you, Scorpio. But, the Eight of Swords can represent only seeing one way of doing things when there are many. And so the solution to the Eight of Swords is quite simple. All you have to do is realize that there are more opportunities and different ways for you to set yourself free. If we look at the reading, we go down to the Hierophant to the Ace of Swords. Hierophant is very much inside the box thinking. So to set ourselves free with the Hierophant, we have to think outside the box. Ace of Swords is also like a card of freedom. It can be a card of removing something so that you can have a victory, or getting rid of something so something better can come in for you. The sword cuts both ways. So sometimes we have to cut something out. You also have the Queen of Swords to the Devil, which also could be freedom, believe it or not, because the Queen of Swords is looking at the Devil there, and so she's able to see what is keeping her stuck and bound. The Devil is a card of toxic energy, but it is also a card of being stuck and bound to something. We'll talk about it in a minute. You have the Four of Pentacles, probably a little bit too much, playing it a little bit too safe, I would say. Four of Pentacles, I don't really think it's a bad card, but I also don't like it. It's also it's just a card I really don't like in the first place, but, it's a card where he's holding on to what he has always had. And he has his city behind him here, but he's not doing anything to create a change, right? He kind of has fear because he's afraid that if he lets go of what he has, that he won't get something better. But really, he doesn't know that. He's just not taking a chance. He's not doing anything that could potentially improve his situation. So with the Four of Pentacles, we sometimes have to release something that we think we want, or that we think we once wanted at one point in our lives, so that we can have something better. It's a card that says don't limit yourself, or don't limit what you think you can accomplish. And, I do feel the first part of this reading, at least, is about, eliminating limitations and setting yourself free. You have the Judgment card, which is great. Again, it seems to me like you're either getting clarity or you are waking up to what has been keeping you stuck in the first place. We go up to the Hierophant and the Devil from the diagonal from this Judgment card. And so this is your higher self angel, and it's like your higher self could be showing you what has been keeping you stuck. Queen of Swords, a lot of clarity. Ace of Swords, a lot of clarity. Believe it or not, during Mercury retrograde, like we are in right now, we can get a lot of clarity. So, it seems to me like you're just getting clear on, what has kept you stuck, or what has maybe prevented you from being able to move forward or find success. And, obviously this is a good thing for you, Scorpio, and I like it so far. So let's see what we have coming up for you. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Three of Cups. Yeah, Three of Cups can be quality connections. You've been getting this a lot this year. Your readings in 2025 have been very focused on people. And, I think you've been focused on eliminating people who slow you down or get in your way. Could even be situations as well. Like if you have a job that's been, really slowing you down or has been preventing your progress, then, that could be something that you're also thinking about changing. But the Three of Cups is about really focusing on those connections that really, really support you and lift you up. These three ladies are celebrating a harvest, and you have a bunch of harvest cards here. You have the Nine of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, so far, which is really good. So definitely could be celebrating a harvest this week. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, a Knight of Swords comes up quite a bit during Mercury retrograde. Knight of Swords during a Mercury retrograde is about not jumping to conclusions. Knight of Swords, he's being too hasty. He's been given information, but he's just panicking about the information. He isn't like sitting and thinking about it and really looking at it and saying, is this true or not? And so if someone rushes into your life and they tell you something and you panic, then you should probably pause and just think, do I really need to panic about this? Is this something that's really an issue, or is it even true, right? During retrogrades, again, people can rush into our lives. They can tell us something like, oh my God, I heard everybody's getting fired at work. They might not have all the details, right? They might not know everything. So I always look at the Knight of Swords sometimes as a person who's rushing into your life telling you something that isn't true. And it doesn't mean that they're a bad person or they're a liar. It just means that they just don't have all the information, right? So we need to not panic if something like that happens. With the Judgment card, you have the Two of Pentacles. It's like decision time for you, Scorpio. It's like I kind of feel like you're almost ending this Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is spinning plates, focusing on too much. It's a card of work hard, play hard. But I feel like you have been exploring a lot this year. And now it seems to me like you're making a choice. And I don't really, sure, Two of Pentacles could be a choice, but I don't necessarily think of it as a choice card. I think it is more a card of juggling and doing too much. But I kind of feel in your reading it's saying you have been doing a lot, and now you're kind of like narrowing your focus. We have the Ace of Swords here. And all the Mercury retrograde readings that I did were very focused on focus. The Ace of Swords is laser-like focus, and then we have the Wheel of Fortune. It's like focusing on one thing, getting one thing done right now is going to change your fortune. So, it seems to me like that's what you're doing. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, yes, you have this water card. It even has a water trine on the card, and it says emotions are at their peak. We have a water trine going on right now. You have this Caduceus card. It says you will receive news from afar. So this water trine is very lucky that's happening for us water signs right now, mostly because of Jupiter and Cancer. But water signs are pretty water trines, are pretty harmonious in the first place. So I've been telling all water signs and everybody else as well, but it's like extra lucky for water signs right now. So even though we have a Mercury retrograde, we should still be doing work. We should still be doing things because we can have a lucky break. Water signs are like portals. Water trines, I don't know why I keep saying water signs, but water trines are like portals, and they can be very lucky. So if we do the work, we can have lucky breaks, lucky breakthroughs, sudden insights that are intuitive, that lead us in a direction. The list goes on and on there. So I would take advantage of the energy. You have the Queen of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Page of Wands. I really like the Queen of Swords during Mercury retrogrades because she represents clarity. This retrograde has been crazy. Everybody has been getting the Queen of Swords, like in the November readings, in the Mercury retrograde readings. So, sometimes retrogrades can bring us great clarity because we're processing information from the past and we're getting answers. And I definitely feel that for you. Like I said, I feel with her kind of looking over to the Devil here, that you could be getting information or understanding what has been keeping you stuck and bound to something. And when you can see it, you can remove it, right? Or you can fix the situation. I always say tarot doesn't have to be drama, drama, drama. The Devil could just say there's a toxic aspect of your job, for example. And it doesn't mean you have to leave the job. It just means that you have to fix it, right? That's it. You have the Hierophant. The Hierophant, I kind of feel blessings here. He's making a symbol with his hand right here. He's blessing these two people. So you have the Nine of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles right next to the Hierophant. So if there are any blessings that you've been hoping or praying for, you could be getting blessings. Usually with the Hierophant, we get the blessings because we are thinking outside the box. He's sitting on his box right here, and we have to think outside the box with the Hierophant. He represents a traditional belief system. It is a bad time for traditional belief systems because of Neptune and Pisces, but also Uranus is retrograding back into Taurus right now. So according to Chris's crappy astrology here, especially Neptune and Pisces, it doesn't mean we can't have traditional beliefs. It just means that if we've been doing things the same for too long and things aren't changing, the only way to change it is to change. And so if we do that, we will be very successful. So I encourage everyone to, practice a little outside the box thinking. Like, try some of your crazier ideas in work or business, or, try to do something to stand out by being different in work or business. Go learn a new skill that could improve your work or your business or your love life or anything that you want to improve. And again, we don't have to be freaking geniuses here. We just have to try a little bit. So if you do that, you'll be successful. You have the Page of Wands, a lot of Page of Wands energy. This Mercury retrograde's happening in Sagittarius. There's a lot of energy also on top of that over the next until 2028, basically, that I think is the universe trying to get people to shake it off, to not be so freaking serious all the time. And you might be saying, there are very serious things happening in the world. Yes, exactly. It's like whenever something happens and the energy becomes too serious, the universe wants us to chill out and wants us to not be so freaking serious all the time, right? So Page of Wands, he's following his optimism. And I think that's what everybody is being encouraged to do right now, is like to do more things that make you feel positive and optimistic and hopeful and all of that. And even if you can only do those things a little bit, a little bit will go a long way. Yes, with the Queen of Swords, you have the Knight of Wands. I think you're becoming more adventurous. The retrograde is going to end in your sign. It's going to end in Scorpio. So, I think that the Sagittarius energy is kind of being dragged backwards into Scorpio a little bit. That sometimes I think that's what happens with retrogrades. When they retrograde from one sign to another, it's almost like they bring a little bit of that flavor back into whatever the previous sign is. And so I think you are maybe becoming a little bit more adventurous, or you're at least willing to go on more adventures and, do more fun things and stuff like that, which is good. With the Hierophant, you have the Three of Swords. Three of Swords can be heartbreak and sadness, but really Three of Swords is about forgiveness. And Mercury retrogrades are a great time to focus on forgiveness. We have to remove these swords from our own heart so that we can heal. So we don't have to forgive a person directly. We just have to forgive them in our heart, and then we can move forward. And it's also an excellent time for just healing in general. We still have the South Node in Virgo. And South Node in Virgo, there's like a little part of it that is very good for healing health, healing spiritually, healing whatever that you're hoping to heal. So I would take the time to do it. With the Page of Wands, here you go. You have the Empress. Celebrity, right? Definitely a lot of attention coming in for you. If you want to do anything that has to do with self-expression, validation, or influence, I would definitely be doing it. The Empress gets a lot of attention without even trying. So, I think putting yourself out there, like if you want love, not really a love reading, but if you want it, I would be putting yourself out there. If you want more abundance, it's like you could be putting your work on display, or you could be showing off your work or something like that. But, really good card for abundance. Very good card for fixed signs as well, because again, Uranus is going back into Taurus. Your opposite sign, Scorpio, I think for you, definitely finding better ways of working on whatever you're working on. That doesn't have to be work or business. That could be, like I said, your health, your spirituality, your mindset, whatever. Finding more efficient ways of doing things is going to be the most successful thing for you. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this mountain. It says challenges, achievements. You have this heart. It says love, new love on it. So, again, I think that a lot of you could be having achievements. You have the Ace of Swords in this row, which is an achievement. We're in an amazing time for love, and I'm talking about the energy of love. That doesn't have to be a person, but again, Uranus and Taurus is very heart-based. Neptune and Pisces is very heart-based. The reason Neptune and Pisces is heart-based is because, it wants us to basically follow our heart. It wants us to be inspired by what we are doing in life. And if you are, then things will go very well. If you're not, they're not. It's pretty freaking simple. So I would be paying attention to what is inspiring you, what is fulfilling you, and do more of that at this time. Scorpio, make sure to like and leave a comment, by the way. It really helps me out. You have the Devil, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Ace of Swords. Again, these people are stuck and bound to this right here, which is the black box of Saturn. The thing about these people is that the chains hang down to like here on their necks. They could easily take those chains from around their necks and they could set themselves free from whatever is controlling them. We do have Saturn in a water sign. It's retrograding in Pisces until February 26th of next year. And so, basically what I would say, moves back into Aries on the 26th of February, is that until that time, I do think water signs, number one, could be feeling controlled by time. And so I think, I think water signs could feel like they're running out of time or they missed out on time. I think a lot of water signs could be wishing that they could go back to when they were like 18 and wishing that they could know then what they know now type of energy. But we have to do what we can with what we got right now. And I think that's how you will set yourself free with the devil energy. I think with the Queen of Swords as well, it's excellent because you are probably seeing the things that are holding you back. Devil can represent toxic habits, but these don't even have to be bad things. These could just be, little moments throughout your day where, maybe you're not using your time wisely, or, maybe you're watching too much Netflix or something like that. And, I think, correcting that behavior would be very good with this card. You have the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is very good energy for you, pre-Empress energy, but we have the Empress here. Nine of Pentacles is about gratitude and luxuries. Nine of Pentacles is about abundance and creating more abundance in your life. She's creating a successful environment around her, and that's like the most important thing with the Nine of Pentacles, is to make sure that the energy around you is successful. She's also keeping 6 pentacles for herself. She has 3 pentacles over here. I feel this is very important for Scorpio, like how much you give to anything that you're doing. This isn't money. This is like a percentage of her energy. She keeps more energy for herself, and she only gives this much energy to anything that she's working on, love, business, or otherwise, doesn't matter. And so I feel that, making sure that you're recharging yourself first and making sure that you're just trying things a little bit, seeing how they go, and then you can make the investment, that would be a good thing for you to work on as well. You have the Ace of Swords, which is great with the Devil, because the Ace of Swords can say you're cutting something out. And I feel a lot of you could be cutting something out that is toxic or not working for you any longer. The Ace of Swords is also a victory, so it's almost like you're having a victory over the Devil. The sword is above the mountains here, so the Ace of Swords, and you have this mountain card that says challenges and achievements on it. And so the Ace of Swords can represent overcoming some sort of challenge or even having a victory. So it looks to me like you are having some sort of victory this week, Scorpio. With the Devil, you have the 6 of Pentacles. This is like being a better breaker-upper, being better at firing people in your life, right? 6 of Pentacles, he is giving to this person, but not this person. I feel what Scorpio needs to realize is you probably know when you should cut something off much, much sooner than you do, right? I just get the intuitive feeling that this is a lesson that you've learned over the past, 10 years, maybe longer, maybe since like 2012. It's like you see all those moments with people, places, and things where you should have cut it off much sooner. And 6 of Pentacles, he's giving to this person, not this person. He's giving to what gives back to him, right? He's not wasting his energy. And so I feel a lot of you, like this is like a major, is it a lesson maybe, or is it just something you learned? I'm not sure, but I think this is something that you have learned that you are now implementing into your life, which is good. Here you go. With the 9 of Pentacles, you have the Devil again. So, this basically is about the energy you give, like I said. So, like I said, she doesn't over-invest in any new situations. She just gives a little bit, and she just sees how it goes, and then she goes from there. So, I really feel this is about you learning how much energy you can give to things, and so that you don't end up in controlling devil situations. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Magician. It's kind of funny because 9 of Pentacles is about being very independent. And the Magician, he is kind of independent. He has mastery over all the suits in the tarot. These are all the ace versions of all the suits in the tarot right here. He's also willing to reinvent himself. He has this snake wrapped around his waist. So he's not really trying to fit in. He's not trying to be like anyone else. And, maybe that's part of the devil, is that it's kind of like saying that you should just do your own thing, or, be your own person, be independent. That doesn't mean you're going to be alone. That just means that you make up your own mind, right? And I feel something about that with the Magician. He's also pointing towards the Wheel of Fortune. And so the Wheel of Fortune can definitely represent a positive change in your fortunes. And if you've been trying to change your fortunes, it looks like you are. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this mature woman. It says, wise, older, influential woman, a mother figure, good advisor, boss, mentor, teacher, or other woman. You have this divine support. It says, guidance, yes, judgment card for sure. Angelic signs, higher self, synchronicities, deeper purpose, soul calling, dream messages, and miracles. Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune can be, and so can the Ten of Pentacles, which you also have here, can be like a little bit of a miracle. So it's like you might feel like you're attracting a little bit of a miracle this week with this energy. You have the Eight of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune. You know, Eight of Pentacles, again, is straightforward, diligent work. He's working on one thing. He's working on those 8 Pentacles. He's working on completing those 8 Pentacles so that he can be successful. And, you know, again, Ace of Swords is focus. It's like laser-like focus. So I think that it would be a good week for you to like pick one thing that would change your fortunes if you were successful and just do that, right? And if you do that, you could be attracting a change in your fortunes by just focusing on one thing, not focusing on the distraction of the devil, whatever that is for you. You have the Ten of Pentacles, which is amazing. You know, Ten of Pentacles is the tree of life. It is building, leaving a legacy, which, again, you fixed signs are definitely focused on with Uranus and Taurus. The Ten of Pentacles is wealth. So a lot of you could be doing things to build wealth, especially with that Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is material success on the horizon. So there definitely could be more money or more success coming in for you in the future, which, of course, is a good thing. Like I said, Ten of Pentacles is a vision, so we have to work towards this vision, and I think the Eight of Pentacles is encouraging you to do that. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is a change in your fortunes, you know, especially coming up in the good stuff. It can say that, you know, fate is stepping in here and kind of helping you move forward. This could be through like messages you're receiving. You know, with the Judgment card, it could be like your dreams and your daydreams through meditation, whatever. I would be paying attention to like signs, symbols, synchronicities. I'm pretty sure that Divine Support card basically said that. That's how you are going to change your fortunes with the Wheel of Fortune, and I would, for sure. So let's see what comes up here for you. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Justice card. Yeah, Justice is cause and effect, and you have the Six of Pentacles, which he is also holding on to the scale, just like the Justice card. Justice and the Wheel of Fortune both want you to double down on the good stuff, which I always say, because it's the easiest way to change your fortunes with the Wheel of Fortune. So I would be doubling down on the things that are really working in your life, and that's it. With the Ten of Pentacles, here you go. There's like some sort of blessing or something coming in for you here, Scorpio. I said blessings on the Hierophant earlier, and you have the Hierophant again with the Ten of Pentacles. So, you know, again, Uranus going back into Taurus could be a little bit of a blessing for you. It could be, you know, it's been in Taurus for a long time. And so now that it's like revisiting, it's almost like this, we're closing out that chapter of Uranus and Taurus when it retrogrades back in for the last time. And so we're kind of closing that out. It's like anything that you were working on or building during Uranus and Taurus, it could be really taken off right now. It could be really building into something significant in your life because we're like closing that out. We're finishing whatever we had to finish, which is good. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Four of Cups. Yeah, Four of Cups, he is kind of like disappointed. He's afraid that he's not going to get what he wants. He's tried to manifest something 3 times. Now he's getting another opportunity to try again. I'm pretty sure that in the Mercury retrograde reading that I just did for you, it'll be linked at the end of this video. You know, I'm pretty sure I said something about how you could be trying something again, or that you should revisit something that you have tried to complete in the past. And that's what I would be doing. You know, it's coming up in the good stuff, so I feel like you are going to do it. You know, if the Four of Cups came up outside of the good stuff, I would be more willing to say that maybe you're not going to do it, but I think you are. You have this Lion card. It says time to act on it. Yes, whatever the Four of Cups and Wheel of Fortune, the Ace of Swords, and the Ten of Pentacles is in this reading, I feel time for you to like charge towards whatever that is. You have this V card. It says victory in some endeavor. The whole entire reading, we were talking about a victory with that Ace of Swords. So definitely could be some sort of victory. You have this pin card that says new job or career. Yeah, again, if things are like the same in your career, if things haven't changed over the last 20 years, might be time to look for something new. Like I said, that doesn't even mean you have to quit your job. You could just ask for a raise or a promotion, and that could solve the issue. But if you need something new, I would go for it. You have this bouquet. It says compliments from an admirer. Yeah, you're definitely getting a lot of attention right now, Scorpio. So, it's Mercury retrograde. Like, I wouldn't rush into a connection. I also wouldn't be afraid of dating like most people are during Mercury retrograde. I think it's perfectly fine to date as long as you're paying attention, right? As long as you're double checking, you'll be fine. You have this kite card. It says vacation on it. Yeah, definitely could be a good time to take a break. I think everybody needs a vacation right now. So even if you can't go on a vacation, if you could, have a staycation or something like that, that would be good. But looks pretty good here, Scorpio. I like it. So thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your week.